people, welcome back to the Arsenal podcast. Definitely, you're most welcome. And of course, we are back at it again. Right now, I want to be talking about Alexander Lacazette, his performance yesterday, his performance over the past 4 years he has spent at Arsenal. Do we really need him? I'm not really sure about that. It's a big, a big question with a yes and no. So many answers will tell you yes, and so many answers will tell you no. Is he an average player? In the first place, when we were signing him, he wasn't average. He was one of those, big strikers in Europe. But right now, for me, he looks like, another Fernando Llorente. I think that's where his career is going. What do you think? Let's get into it. Okay, now guys, after the Liverpool beating 3-1, you guys, almost everyone is reflecting on the chances Alexander Lacazette had. First one, the one he got in 25 minutes, he put it away. Alisson basically had no chance. That was a good strike, pulled off. 1-0, we got the lead. Our defensive shambles were, always, have to reflect, ever and ever. So 3 minutes down the road, we lost the lead. It was 1-0. Just a couple of minutes in the in half time, we lost the second. We considered the second goal. Okay, but still, look at second half. Lacazette had 2 clear-cut chances. Maybe it should have been 3-3. Maybe it should have been 3-3. Maybe it should have been 2-2 at some point. Maybe those goals would be the goals that would have pumped life back in us. What do you think? But still, if I look at the strike of his caliber, he has just marked 50 goals at Arsenal. That is way too low. Way too low. He's not an injury-prone player. Not injury-prone at all. So maybe if he was injury-prone, that could be the excuse that but he's not injury-prone. He's one of those players that are always fit for the biggest part of the season. And this is a big question. Should we sell Alexander Lacazette? In this video, I'm gonna say this is the time when we can get maximum revenue out of Lacazette. He's not getting any younger, and his career is not getting any better. That means the 45-50 million pounds we bought him from Lyon are going to a waste. Atletico Madrid and Juventus wanted him this summer, and many Arsenal fans really, I don't know whether we were too sympathetic with him. We decided to side with him. He shouldn't go. And yesterday, he just convinced me that his career is not going to work at Arsenal. Trust me, his career is not going to work at Arsenal. There are key moments you want from a striker, not so many. But there are those key moments you want from striker. You get 3 chances and puts away 2 chances. That is the strike of his caliber, and that's why we signed a striker of his valuation. Otherwise, the kind of strikers we have been signing at Arsenal: the Maroon Chamaks, the Olivier Giroud's, 10-9 million. Get him, it's done. He gives you 12 goals per season. For 4 consecutive seasons, you can praise him. He goes to Chelsea and ends his career there. The Yaya Sanokas and so on. Those are the kind of strikers that we have been with, in the past couple of seasons. But Arsenal going in for a striker like Alexander Lacazette really meant a lot. It really meant, sorry for that. I was still saying, the best thing to do with Alexander Lacazette is let him go. 35 million pounds is still, achievable at this time. His contract is running down. I'm not really even sure if Arsenal is willing to give him another contract extension. Rumors have it that we were in talks with him to give him a 2-year contract extension, and the other rumors have it that we are not willing to give him a contract extension. But whatever it might be, I think the best thing for us to do as Arsenal is let Alexander Lacazette go. I know we don't have so many options when it comes to that position 9, but you would rather let Aubameyang play, be with the Edin Ketia as the backup midfielder, as the backup striker, because basically Aubameyang should be operating as this, as the center forward, right? He should be playing as the center forward, but we are squeezing in Alexander Lacazette because of the so-called chemistry and pushing Aubameyang to the left where he's not operating so well. We have seen that in the past 2 games. He has been completely out of the game. And I don't mean to say Lacazette doesn't deserve any respect or at all at Arsenal, but I think he is 29. He has a career not at Arsenal though. He has a career but not at Arsenal. He's not going to bring us any better fruits at Arsenal. He's not, it's time we accept he's not the striker we wanted from Lyon. He's not the kind of striker we wanted. He has very good, very good hold-up play. I know he has that muscle, that that energy, the vibe up front. But still, you need to be clinical. If you're not clinical as a striker, then all the rest, because it's not another Roberto Firmino that's going to set up so many chances for other players or create a lot of space. It doesn't do that. Yesterday I was looking at one of the chances he's got, and I was like, why don't you pass to Aubameyang? Why don't you pass to Aubameyang? He's free. And then you put that ball right in front of the chest of Alisson. A striker with all your experience, you've been in 2 leagues, and then you put that ball in front of Alisson. Just like, a junior academy kid. So for me, I think, guys, if we can use, him, if we can use his deal, sell him off, get some decent money, bring in some decent players, because that's what we need. We need to sell, we need to sell off some players, to get in, a couple of other good players. Maybe we shouldn't have sold, Emi Martinez, because he was more useful at the club. He gave Leno more competition and so on. Instead of selling, Emi Martinez, we should have sold Lacazette. We get 35 million. You can, we sell Lucas Torreira. You get 20 million. That is almost 35. That's almost 55. And maybe add some little money from Socrates and Mustafi, 60 million. Top up and get 2 quality midfielders. That should have been the deal from in the start. That should have been the deal from the start. I really don't buy the idea. I really don't buy the idea that Lacazette should stay at Arsenal any longer. I'm not really picking this from yesterday's game alone. No. I'm not really picking this from yesterday's game alone. If you look at his performances, there is no time when Lacazette has been there for Arsenal. I don't remember. I don't remember Lacazette being there for Arsenal for 2 or 3 consecutive games. Am I mistaken? No. That time has never been there. Just look at Aubameyang. He has been there for Arsenal. He has always shown that, he can do it for us, and he has done it. I think we don't need a lot of time to see that the player is really going to, have a big career or small career or, or no career at all at the club. Lacazette has no career at Arsenal. No career, absolutely no career. 50 goals, 4 seasons. I know so many Arsenal fans got excited when, when he hit 50 goals, but the kind of goals he scores as a person, as a striker, they're not the kind of goals that, you expect out of him. He misses sitter chances and, pulls some ugly goals that anybody could score by chance at any time. And I don't know how the hell you can convince me that Lacazette should stay at Arsenal. No more. He's average. There's, the same thing with players like Granit Xhaka. They've been at Arsenal, slowly eating time, slowly. They appear in the starting lineup almost every time when they are fit. But the truth is, they're not supposed to be with us. They're not supposed to be with the side. They need to be somewhere else. They need to be at Crystal Palace. They need to be at Torino. They need to be at maybe. That's, that's the kind of squad, state in which our squad is. If you looked at the kind of players that should be playing for Arsenal, and you mentioned them, honestly, in the starting lineup, they are 4. Because if you are going to compete with the big clubs, then we need to have the same quality as they are. Even if you gave me Mason Greenwood, I'll drop Lacazette. I'll drop Lacazette for Mason Greenwood. You know, you drop Lacazette for Martial, you drop Lacazette for Aguero, you drop Lacazette. You actually, I think he's the worst striker among the top 6 clubs. He's the worst striker. You can't compare him to Ken, you can't compare him to Firmino, you can't compare him to Jesus, you cannot compare him to Aguero, you cannot compare him to anyone in the top 6. Not to Vanna, not to Tammy Abraham, not to anyone. Basically, you know, he has that kind of thing that, you know, just doesn't sit well with him and Arsenal. And I think for me, it's time to let him go. Let us use him to unlock the other deals that we can. Sell Lacazette. Sell Lacazette. Tell me what you think about Lacazette in the comments. Don't forget to smash up the like button and get in your subscription as well. Thank you so much.